Morning. So glad that you're here to worship with us today. It's good to see your faces. Have you guys enjoy your extra hour of sleep last night? For me, it was like so sweet. I actually woke up nice and early. Is it? Just because, as you know, we've been going through 21-day dawn prayer, and there's this sound that I hate that has been playing every morning. This is my alarm sound. I chose this sound because if you hear it, it sounds nice and light. Da, na, 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 na. I thought, in the morning when I wake up, what is it that I want to hear that's going to make me feel like, okay, I'm ready to face the day? Nice, happy sounds, right? Da, na, 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 na. I hate this sound. Like, it makes me so angry when I hear it. Like 4 o'clock in the morning, it rings, and I'm like, oh. It's like, it literally for me, even though when I picked it, I thought it was pretty, I thought it was nice, it sounds now like nails being scratched on a blackboard. Like, all right, get up. But I do. When I hear that sound, as much as I hate it, I get up. Because sometimes I don't, right? There have been times, and over this past week, this is what happened. I pressed snooze. 5 minutes later, it woke me up again. I was not ready to wake up. So I set a timer on my phone, 10 minutes. I'm going to wake up in 10 minutes. Set a timer in 10 minutes. I fell asleep, and then somehow I must have turned off the timer while I was sleeping, and I stayed asleep. Thank God 5 minutes later, I jolted up, thinking I missed worship. Everyone is waiting for me, and I missed it. Thank God it was only 5 minutes later. If we don't heed our alarm, whose fault is it? It's my fault. If the alarm doesn't ring, whose fault is it? Well, probably it's my fault also, but, we can blame the alarm. Right? The power went out, somehow the power went out and the alarm didn't ring, everything got reset, But if the alarm rings, and I choose not to heed it, it's my fault. The reason why I say this is this. So, like last year, in September of 2020, there was this movie that came out on Netflix. It's called The Social Dilemma. Right? The Social Dilemma kind of gave this argument about Facebook or different social media platforms, and basically said this: social media is deliberately addictive, right? They are deliberately trying to use your time. So you ever lay in bed, you say, or whatever it may be, like just before you're about to go to sleep, and like, oh, let me check Facebook. You go there, and your eyes, like literally, you just start scrolling, and somehow you click one link that leads to another link, and you're like sitting there, and you're going, what am I doing? And you look, and it's like an hour and a half past. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. Has that ever happened to you? That's by design, right? That's deliberate. It's not like, oh, you just happen to fall into some wormhole. No, that's the way that Facebook or Instagram is designed, right? Another thing that came out of it, it says that children are at risk. Something else, governments are doing very little about it. No, that might be changing nowadays. And truly, this is it. You must, if you want that to change, you must do something about it, because they're not going to do anything about it. And then recently, Frances Hogan was a whistleblower for Facebook. In October 4th, she had released all these documents. And this is what, she was a data scientist working for Facebook, and this is what she said: Facebook harms children. Facebook harms children. They sow division. It undermines democracy in the pursuit of breakneck growth and astronomical profits. This is what they're saying about Facebook. How many of you still have Facebook? I do. I do. When this first came out, everyone was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be devastating to Facebook. Profit margins are going to drop, and, all of these things are going to happen. You know what happened? They were right. It dipped. You know what's happening now? It's climbing. You know why? Whistles are blowing, the alarms are blaring, but everyone is still asleep. I wonder why. What's the allure of Facebook? What is it that's so great about it? One of the benefits for me, come May 12th, I get a lot of messages. On my birthday, I get a bunch of messages that say, "Happy birthday." Oh, that feels nice. It feels so nice to have people wish you a happy birthday on your birthday. And so, when I'm on Facebook and I see that it's someone's birthday, I write, "Oh, happy birthday." Even if I haven't spoken to them in years. We're friends on Facebook. I have 944 friends on Facebook. I have 400 followers on Instagram. I'm so popular. I talk to probably a tenth of those people. It's interesting, isn't it? We have reduced our friendships to kind of friendship light, right? Diet friendship. Friendship that is, it feels nice for a moment, but there's no real harm. Don't worry, there's no caloric value. You're not going to gain weight. It's not going to hurt you in any way. Oh, yeah. Maybe it is. It might cause cancer, though, but you'll be okay. That's the problem. We've taken what is intended to be genuine friendship and we've reduced it to something that is not potent in a positive way, not potent in a negative way. Proverbs 27:6 says this: "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy." Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. I mean, clearly the Bible got it wrong on this one, right? Because, it should be the other way around. Like, faithful are the wounds of an enemy. Like, wounds are, your enemy is going to be faithful in wounding you, right? And your friends will be the one that will kiss you, right? What is Proverbs saying? He's saying when a friend, a true friend, wounds you, believe them. Trust them. When a true friend says something to you that may hurt you for that moment, take heed of those words. Realize just how much love it required for that person to be able to share those words with you. Because an enemy will just make light. They say, "Oh, everything's wonderful. Oh, you look so pretty. You look so great." And really, weak, fruitless friendships. I saw this in the New Yorker the other day. Say, "Oh, I'd let you in, but my life's a mess." I'd invite you into my life, but it's a mess. It's comical if it weren't true. So many of us live life this way, our friendships this way, our relationships this way. We want friendships, but at a distance. We want relationship, we want people to care about us and encourage us and strengthen us, but don't get too serious, don't get too deep, because you're going to hurt me. Keep your distance. In Ezekiel chapter 33, this is where we really are today. We get these words that come to us in verses 1 and 2. It says, "The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, speak to your people and say to them, when I bring the sword against a land, and the people of the land choose one of their men and make him their watchman." This is what he's saying. When war comes, when an enemy comes to confront, when difficulty comes your way, when you are in a place of war in your heart, in your life, Be sure that there's someone who's awake. When everyone else is asleep, when everyone else is at rest, make sure that there's someone who's awake who's keeping watch. And he sees the sword coming against the land and blows the trumpet to warn the people. Then if anyone hears the trumpet but does not heed the warning, and the sword comes and takes their life, their blood will be on their own heads. Since they heard the sound of the trumpet but did not heed the warning, their blood will be on their own head. What's he saying? He's saying, look, you may be sleeping right now. You may be resting. But if someone comes and wakes you up and says, look, you need to get up right now because the enemy is on its way, and you choose to ignore him, then it's your fault. When destruction comes and your life is devastated, it's your own fault. He's saying, look, if you don't listen when someone who loves you enough to wake you up tells you do something, change something, and then devastation comes your way, you don't take heed of that warning, it will be your own fault when it happens. What God is saying to Ezekiel is this: war is coming. Right? Look at the way that he says it. When I bring the sword against the land. When I bring the sword. Not if I bring the sword, but when. Because it's going to happen. War is going to happen. As a matter of fact, the Word of God is revealing to us that it's happening right now all around us. And we need God's faithful people to be awake and alert and to cry out, to blow the trumpet. That there's a calling to the people of God to be watchmen. I hear that. There's a calling to the people of God to be a watchman. So what does it take? What does it take to be a watchman? It means that you need to be alert. It means that you need to not let yourself get distracted. It means that you have to be set apart from what everyone else is doing, whatever everyone else in the world might be doing. You have your heart and your mind set on the goal of watching out. It's this prophetic call to specific people to say, look, be aware. Danger is coming. When the sword comes, make sure that you have a watchman that's set up. There's a call, brothers and sisters, for watchmen today. We need you. Because the rest of the world is sleeping. And truth is, there are times when we all are sleeping. I'm asleep and you're asleep. There are times when we get distracted. There are times when I lose my way. There are times when I allow myself to just fall asleep and fall into a stupor of living for this world. And I need someone to wake me up and say, hey, what are you doing right now? The sword is coming. Wake up. Pay attention. Get right with God. I know that I need that. And I know that you need that too. The problem is, we live in the world of fake friendships, superficial friendships, light relationships. So that when someone actually wakes us up, what are you doing? Who are you to say that to me? Who do you think you are? Look, I don't know you that way. I don't like you that way. Whatever it may be. And we come up with these reasons and these excuses to hold people at a distance. The problem problem is, when destruction comes, our blood will be on our own heads. We need someone to blow the whistle. We need someone to sound the trumpet. But we also need to take heed of those words. Because if they had heeded the warning, they would have saved themselves. If they had heeded the warning, they would have saved themselves. If you heard the trumpet sound, you realized, oh my goodness, I've got to do something about this, then you would have changed, and your life would have been saved. If they had heeded the warning, they would have saved themselves. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet to warn the people, and the sword comes and takes someone's life, that person's life will be taken because of their sin, but I will hold the watchman accountable for their blood. You know what he's saying? He's saying, look, people of God, if you see destruction coming, and you say, you know what, I just don't want to be a bother. I don't want to bother someone. What if that person confronts me and I don't know what to say? You know, I'm kind of scared of being rejected. And you know what, I don't even know how to defend my faith. And so because of that, and you know what, I don't want to be offensive to anybody. If we see the sword coming and we don't sound the trumpet, then their blood is on our heads. Yeah, it's true. That person will die because of their own sin. Their death will be on our heads. The watchmen will be accountable for their blood. Brothers and sisters, this is his call to us. This is his call to his people. Like, wake up, be alert. Be the watchman in this generation, because when you go out from here, there are so many who are going down that broad path. So many going down this great big path that leads to destruction. There's so many who are blind, so many who are lost, so many who are truly dead in their sin. And we, the people of God who are awake, we, the people of God who are in the know of how to save and be saved, we who know the way, the truth, and the life, if we remain silent, I will hold the watchman accountable for their blood. If we truly believed, in our hearts, if we truly believed that those who are unbelievers, those who are not Christians, are going to suffer a fate of eternal damnation in hell. It's not a popular word today to say the word hell. That's what the word tells us. At the end of it all, at the end of our lives, there's just two alternatives. Right? There are just two options. You either are in heaven, in the presence of God, living for eternity in his presence in glory, or you suffer damnation in hell. If we truly believe that Jesus is the only way, truth, and the life, that no one can get to the Father except through him, that anyone who is not in Christ is lost, How could we stay silent? How does the church stay silent? We need to be blowing the trumpet. We need to be blowing the trumpet. Jeremiah 6. From the least to the greatest of them, everyone is greedy for unjust gain. And from prophet to priest, everyone deals falsely. They have healed the wound of my people lightly, saying, peace, peace, and there's no peace. He's talking to us, brothers and sisters. He's talking to the church. We heal the wound. We treat the wound of this world so lightly. Sin so lightly. Hell so lightly. You say, peace, peace. Everything's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Peace, peace, we say. I just want to have peace with everyone, we say. I just want to be at peace with everyone, we say. I don't like confrontations. I don't like arguments. I don't like having to be in your face with people and oppose people. And so we say, peace, peace. But there is no peace. There is no peace. There shouldn't be any peace in our hearts. I shouldn't say that. We should not be able to just rest easy when we know that friends, family members, co-workers, neighbors, some of them on this path that leads to destruction. We can't be at peace. We can't just rest easy. We can't just allow it to be everything is A-okay. There needs to be in our hearts this realization we're at war. We're at war. The sword has come. It's time to sound the alarm. It's time for us to realize that we need to wake up and sound the alarm because those who are lost are lost. They're perishing in their sin. I assure you, these words are just as much for me as they are for you. There is one way that you and I have found. There's one way that you and I have discovered in Jesus Christ, that in Him, in faith in Jesus, there is a way to leave this path of destruction. We can't quietly just slip away on our own by ourselves. We need to sound the alarm. Guys, look over here. Here's the way out. We can't just simply quietly, secretly, just by myself, let everyone else go into destruction, and on my own, fine, I'll be safe by myself. Brothers and sisters, we are a people at war. I don't know if you are aware of this, but we are. We're a people at war. We're soldiers of Christ, truly. Something that my seminary roommate used to say. He would say, people act as if we are living on a cruise ship. You're there for relaxation. You're there to rest. You're there to swim. You're there to eat. You're there to just enjoy yourself. The reality is, we're on a battleship. We are people who depend on one another to go and face the battle. We're people that each have a role to play in this battleship. Each one of us have a deliberate calling so that we can serve and fight in this battle. So in Ephesians 6, finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For your struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. He says, look, you are a people at war, but the enemy is not who you think it is. The enemy is not the church down the street. Oh my goodness, no, that is not the enemy. The enemy is not even Buddhists or Muslims or any other religious sect. They're not the enemy. The devil is the enemy. Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. The devil is our enemy. Muslims? Atheists? Agnostics? Buddhists? You know what they are? They're our mission. They're our mission. So many times we treat them like they're the enemy. They're the call that we've been given to go and sound the alarm to love them enough to actually sound the alarm in their lives. Because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Because Jesus is the only solution. He's the only answer. This passage continues for us. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, with your feet fitted in the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, which can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. Amen. The word tells us to put on the armor of God. By building up our faith, putting on the helmet of salvation, learning to use the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. We put on the armor of God because our enemy is a spiritual enemy. So our weapons and our armor, spiritual armor, spiritual weapons. we as a people need to be trained up. We as a people need to be able to learn how to fight for the kingdom of God. This is the reason why we hold classes, discipleship and life groups and men's group. This is the reason why we call on you to take T classes and to get more deeply involved. This is why we ask you to join us for 21-day dawn prayer and to do your devotions with us. This is the reason why we ask you to pray and to spend this time, be deliberate about how you use your time in growing and stretching out your faith, because, brothers and sisters, we are a people at war. So get off that cruise ship. Stop living for your comfort. Stop living the easy route. Get up. Hear the sound of the alarm. Hear the trumpet's call. Come. Train yourself up. Be ready for battle. Let's pray together.